welcome to the show, and today I'm going to be talking about WWE Survivor Series WarGames. This was the most recent WWE Premium Live event that took place on the main roster. Survivor Series took place in Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada, had an attendance of roughly 17,000 people. Let's talk about it. The show started off with the women's WarGames match. This was Team Ripley versus Team Morgan. Team Ripley consisted of Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair, Naomi, Bayley, and Io Sky. Team Morgan consisted of Liv Morgan, Raquel Rodriguez, Nia Jax, Tiffany Stratton, and Candice LeRae. Jade Cargill was supposed to be in this match, but she was taken out in a backstage attack. Conflicting reports came out. One said that this was a legitimate injury, another one stated that this was a work. Nia Jax and Bayley started the WarGames match. That was an awful idea. I was hoping we'd move on from the Bayley-Nia Jax feud. Order of entrance was as follows: Naomi, Candice LeRae, Bianca Belair, Tiffany Stratton, Io Sky, Raquel Rodriguez, Rhea Ripley, and Liv Morgan. This to me was the worst WarGames match that WWE has ever produced since reviving the concept in 2017. This was not good. This did not need to be a WarGames match. I would have booked a standard tag team match with Liv and Raquel versus Rhea and Io because there is story there. We didn't need to have everyone else involved in this match. Nia Jax worked horrendously in this match. She threw some of the worst looking chair shots I've ever seen. They literally had no impact. Couple of sloppy moves. Nia Jax worked awful in this match. I don't know who made the call for her to start the match, but they should never produce another wrestling match ever again. This match had a couple of cool spots. Io Sky does her signature dive with the trash can off the cage. I mean, always impressive to see. Tiffany Stratton hit a swanton off the top of the cage. That was impressive. Minus a few cool spots. This match, honestly, I did not care. I could not bring myself to care about anything that happened in this match. Closing sequence of this match saw a fire extinguisher being used. Raquel was handcuffed to the bottom rope. Tiffany teased cashing in Money in the Bank prior to that happening, which is what led to that. In the end, Rhea Ripley hits Riptide from the top rope on Liv Morgan for the win, and that will lead to another match between Rhea and Liv for the championship, probably sometime in 2025. We're getting Liv Morgan versus Io Sky first. I wasn't a big fan of the women's WarGames match. To me, this had a few cool moments, but as an overall, this to me, no question, is the worst WarGames match that WWE has produced since reviving the concept. Was not a fan of this match. This was very dull. This did not need to exist. And moving on to our next match. United States Championship match, LA Knight versus Shinsuke Nakamura. Shinsuke Nakamura made his return to television after being off TV since April. Confronted LA Knight, he beat Andrade in a match on SmackDown, which was his first singles win since the February 12th episode of Raw, and only his second win for all of 2024. The ship has sailed on Shinsuke Nakamura. They had one opportunity to make this guy into the next main event talent, and it was completely squandered when he lost to Jinder Mahal at SummerSlam 2017. Ever since losing that match, Nakamura, he was never the same. His main event aura completely vanished, and his feud with AJ Styles in 2018 that a lot of fans were excited for, completely disappointed. That was not a good feud. Shinsuke has a new presentation, new theme song, new entrance. He came out wearing a samurai helmet. Honestly, his presentation looks very cool, but this push, 7 years too late. It's too late for Nakamura. LA Knight came out, created a moment that will live on forever on Botchamania. He dropped the United States Championship as he was doing his pose in the ring, and this match was very dull. This was not very enjoyable. This to me felt like more of a match that would happen on SmackDown around the middle of the show when they're going to commercial break. This did not belong on a premium live event. Closing sequence of the match saw Nakamura hit a Kinshasa for the win. He is now a 3-time United States champion. LA Knight lost the United States Championship at Survivor Series, which I did not see coming. LA Knight, his United States Championship reign started to pick up some steam, especially coming off of that triple threat match at Crown Jewel. It felt like, okay, LA Knight, we've got the ball rolling. And then we come into Survivor Series and he loses to Nakamura, who's got zero heat. LA Knight losing the United States Championship to me was the wrong call. And well, we'll see where he's booked moving forward. Nakamura now is a 3-time United States champion. His first first two reigns were not good, and I'm not expecting much from this third United States Championship reign. This match between Knight and Nakamura was very dull, nothing overly interesting or special. That's how I feel about this match. I didn't care, the match was dull, and in my opinion, the outcome was wrong. The show finally started to feel like a premium live event with our next match, triple threat match for the Intercontinental Championship. Braun Breaker versus Sheamus versus Ludwig Kaiser. This match occurred because of a brawl. Adam Pearce came out and made a triple threat match for the pay-per-view. Sheamus, this is his first match on a premium live event since returning from injury. It's been too long since Sheamus has been on a premium live event. One thing I do want to mention, Sheamus's new theme song is awful. It is horrendous. WWE, Triple H, whoever's in charge, we need a brand new music department for the WWE. Whatever Def Rebel are doing is clearly not working. They are awful. Kaiser left the ring as soon as the match started, brought in a chair, ate a clothesline from Braun Breaker. Sheamus then hits two Irish Curse backbreakers on Braun Breaker. Braun Breaker went for his running spear on the outside, but Kaiser was able to hit him with a baseball slide. That was very cool. Breaker hit a jumping shoulder tackle and delivered a suplex on Kaiser on the outside. Kaiser countered a powerbomb attempt by Sheamus. Breaker hits a jumping clothesline on both guys from the apron as they were on the announce table. That was an awesome spot. Braun Breaker is incredible. Kaiser threw Sheamus onto the steps and then into the crowd. Sheamus hit 11 beats on Kaiser and then 10 beats on Breaker. Sheamus and Braun are brawling in the ring. Sheamus hits a Celtic cross that gets him a 2 count. Sheamus avoided a spear. Braun Breaker ran into a chair that was wedged between the ropes earlier in the match. Sheamus goes for the pin, but Ludwig Kaiser pulls the ref out. Sheamus goes to the outside. Kaiser attacks him with a shillelagh. Sheamus hits a knee strike on Kaiser that gets him a 2 count. Kaiser hit a rolling senton and a DDT on Sheamus. Then Kaiser gets hit by a spear, and then Sheamus, he gets hit by a spear by Braun Breaker. Breaker pins Sheamus. He retains the Intercontinental Championship, and this was an excellent match. This was very enjoyable. Braun Breaker, Sheamus, and Ludwig Kaiser, 3 excellent wrestlers, and this furthers the storyline of Sheamus being unable to capture the Intercontinental Championship up until we get to WrestleMania 41, where I do see him versus Breaker as the match for the IC title and Sheamus finally winning at WrestleMania. This was an excellent match. In my opinion, one of the 2 best matches of the night. This was very good. This was an excellent match. I really enjoyed this. All 3 guys were great, and this was awesome. World Heavyweight Championship match. Gunther versus Damian Priest. Damian Priest won a fatal 4-way match to earn this opportunity. This is the second one-on-one match between these 2 guys, first one being at SummerSlam. Story of this match was primarily Damian Priest's shoulder, Gunther targeting the shoulder. Priest escaped a power bomb and locked in a triangle choke. Gunther locked in a sleeper and hit a power bomb for a 2 count. Priest hits a Hurricane Rana from the top rope and then delivers Razor's Edge that gives him a 2 count. Priest went for a chokeslam twice, but his shoulder gave out. Gunther then locked in a Kimura lock on Priest. Priest was able to reach the ropes. Gunther hit 2 clotheslines. Priest came back with 2 clotheslines of his own, was able to get a 2 count. Priest countered a superplex attempt by pushing Gunther into the ring. Priest fell out of the ring. Finn Balor then came out and hit Priest with a coup de grace from the steps. Gunther then hit a big boot on Balor. Gunther delivers a power bomb, some anvil elbows, and locks in a sleeper hold for the win. Damian Priest passes out. Gunther retains the World Heavyweight Championship. That was the inevitable outcome. Gunther is not losing the World Heavyweight Championship in 2024. He's going to enter WrestleMania as the World Heavyweight Champion. He might be leaving WrestleMania as the World Heavyweight Champion. The story of this match really came into effect towards the end between Balor and Priest. We are getting this match one-on-one at WrestleMania. They did announce that we are getting a triple threat, Gunther versus Balor versus Priest, at Saturday night's main event this Saturday. I'm looking forward to that match. This makes sense from a storyline perspective. This match between Gunther and Priest was fine. This was a solid match. However, I personally feel that their match at SummerSlam was a lot better. Our main event, the men's WarGames match, the OG Bloodline and CM Punk versus the new Bloodline and Bronson Reed. CM Punk joined the OG Bloodline when Paul Heyman made his return to television. It was revealed that Paul Heyman owes CM Punk a favor in exchange for joining the original Bloodline. The new Bloodline all came out together. The OG Bloodline and CM Punk all had separate entrances, so a nice story being told there. CM Punk came out, went off script by shoving Bronson Bronson Reed, that was in the news. Roman came down, he immediately stared down CM Punk. Jey Uso and Tama Tonga started this match for their respective teams. The new bloodline had the advantage going into this match. Tama hits a sliding clothesline and a springboard senton and a splash. He went for a pin, and this got a great reaction from Jimmy Uso, who was laughing in the cage because you can't have a pinfall before everyone enters the match. Bronson Reed came out next. He brought in some chairs. Jay immediately threw 2 chairs at Reed, and then he swatted away the third one. Reed and Tama team up to take on Jey Uso. They dominated the next 3 minutes. Jimmy Uso came out. He entered the cage immediately. They hit a double kick on Reed. Jimmy hit Whisper in the Wind. They do the 10 punches in the corner. We got "This is Usi" chants from the Vancouver crowd. Loved it. Tonga Loa came out next. The crowd immediately started booing him. However, as he was about to exit the cage, Solo stopped him, looked at Jacob Fatu, and Jacob Fatu left the cage, and he was the next entrant of the match. Jacob immediately attacked the Usos. He fought off both of them. He was hit by a Samoan drop and then immediately got back up. That was very impressive. CM Punk was about to step out, but Roman Reigns stopped him. He looked over at Sammy, and Sammy was the next entrant in the match. Sammy hit corner punches on Reed. Sammy went for a crossbody on Fatu, but he got caught. He got a super kick from Jimmy Uso. Jimmy and Sammy then do the handshake. That was a cool moment. Tonga Loa came out. He got booed out of the building. Jacob hits a moonsault on Jay. Roman was about to enter the match, but then Punk sidestepped him and shoved him out of the way to enter the match. CM Punk is the next entrant in this match. He looked back at Roman prior to entering the match, and then he brought in a toolbox. He hit the running knees on Reed, Tama, and Jacob. Jacob Fatu hits a Samoan drop on CM Punk. Solo came out. He slammed the cage door on Sammy, Jay, and Jimmy. Solo brought in a chain, hits a spinning solo on Sammy. Fatu hits a moonsault on both Usos. Reed hits a tsunami on Sammy. Punk was surrounded by the new bloodline. It was 5-on-1, and they start attacking him. Solo locked the cage. Roman came out of the cage that was on the ramp, and Solo was taunting him. Roman began climbing the cage, and he fought off the new bloodline and hit a crossbody on all 5 members of new bloodline to enter the match. Now, new bloodline are in one ring, OG bloodline are in the other ring. Roman Reigns helps up the Usos. He looks at CM Punk, doesn't help him up, just ignores him, and he helps Sammy get back to his feet. Punk gets up on his own, and they start arguing. Paul Heyman comes out, plays Peacemaker. He gets them back on the same page. The traditional WarGames spot where all 10 guys start attacking each other. Sammy hits a tornado DDT on Bronson Reed. The Usos hit super kicks and Uso splashes on the Tongans. Roman hits a spear on Punk, who had Fatu up for the GTS. Solo hits a Samoan spike on Roman that got a 2 count. Reed hits a Death Valley driver on Punk. Reed hits a senton on Punk. Roman hits a low blow on Jacob Fatu and a spear on Solo. Reed super kicked Roman, put him on a table. He climbed to the top of the cage, goes for a tsunami. Punk pulls Roman off the table, making the save. A report came out that Bronson Reed broke both his ankles on the frog splash and is going to require surgery and is going to be out for a couple of months. Best wishes to Bronson Reed. I wish him a speedy and healthy recovery. Fatu started attacking both guys. Solo hit 2 Samoan spikes on Roman. The Usos then hit a double super kick on Solo. 2 super kicks on Fatu followed by a 3D. Spear on Tonga Loa. Sammy hits a blue thunder bomb on Tama Tonga. Jimmy Uso hit a splash from the top of the cage on Fatu through a table. It was reported that Jimmy Uso suffered a broken toe. I wish him a speedy recovery as well. Sammy helped the Usos and Punk back to their feet. The Usos helped Roman up, and now it was a 5-on-1 situation on Solo. Roman opened his arms and he was ready to forgive Solo, but Solo went for the attack and he was hit by a super kick and another super kick and a double super kick and a haluva kick and a GTS and finally a spear for the win. OG Bloodline embrace. Punk is standing to the side. The Usos and Sammy hug. They embrace Roman. Roman and Punk shake hands, and the original Bloodline head up to the stage, and they all hold up the ones except for Punk. He does his GTS taunt. CM Punk versus Roman Reigns is gonna happen sometime in 2025, and Paul Heyman is going to be involved in that storyline, and I cannot wait for it. That will be the cinema on another level. Also, I want to send best wishes to Tonga Loa as well. He was also injured during the WarGames match, and I wish him a speedy recovery. This was a great match from an in-ring and storyline perspective. This was excellent. This was the best match of the night. This was a very good match. This was an excellent match. I loved this match. This was one of WWE's best matches of the year from a storytelling perspective and an in-ring perspective. When all 10 guys were in the ring, this match went up to the next level, and I loved it. This was exactly what needed to happen at WarGames. Overall, Survivor Series WarGames 2024 was a fine show. The first two matches were not very good. The IC Triple Threat and the Men's WarGames was very good. The World Title match was fine. Those first two matches really affected this pay-per-view in a negative manner. But I enjoyed the second half of the show from the IC title match moving forward, and those are my thoughts on Survivor Series. That is all for today. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to hit like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. You can follow me on Instagram at Said_2000, and I will see you on the next video. Till then, take care.